We are going home. The season is over. The draft is in X days. Blah, blah, blah.
Test. Go to the test.
I'm 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, whatever.
Hello, and welcome to the Lowe Post Hoop Collective post-game mini-pod. We talk about the NBA. Tonight we're talking about the world champion Toronto Raptors. I'm here with Zach Lowe of the Lowe Post and a champion himself, Kendrick Perkins. This is going to be a memorable series and a memorable game. It wasn't a cleanly played game, but the way everything went down, one of the more memorable finishes, and it's unfortunate that the Warriors lost two of their best players. But, I have a really big belief, and that belief is that when you're a champion, you never have to say you're sorry. Any trade that you made, any signing that you made, anything that happened in the game, anything that happened to the other team, anything that any other team did, doesn't matter. You're a champion forever, no matter what anybody says. And I think it's important for us in the media, at least I feel this way, to stick by that the Raptors were the better team, and they proved it throughout this series. I thought so.
Not only did they prove it throughout the series, I think they proved it throughout the playoffs. I haven't seen – it's been a while. I haven't seen probably in the last 10 years a team that went through a tougher road to win a championship. I mean, think about it. The Raptors handled a young, feisty Orlando team that wasn't bad. And then all of a sudden they had to fight against a Philadelphia team that was stacked up. And then they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and beat arguably was the best team in the league in the Milwaukee Bucks and the MVP of the season. And then you come in and defeat the champs. And you got to give a lot of credit to the front office of Toronto, because during the summer he made a lot of questionable moves, and he really took a big gamble, with trading for Kawhi. He fired Coach Casey, who was Coach of the Year, made the trade for Gasol and trading a young, nice center in Giannis. And I think it turned out for the best, because like I said before, we wouldn't have probably been able to see this Siakam under Dwayne Casey. Nick Nurse came in as a first-year coach and did a wonderful job. He mixed it up. Wasn't scared to make adjustments. We hadn't seen a boxing one in what?
Triangle and two also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't scared to mix it up. I thought his substitution pattern was great for a first-year coach. And, injuries happen. Unfortunately, I hate that, KD and Steph went down. KD and Clay went down. But, hey, they didn't win championships also when people was hurt. And the great Tim Duncan say you need a little bit of luck to win championships. And that, you don't wish harm on nobody, but sometimes that's just how the things go.
I want to talk about three guys. Kyle Lowry, so often labeled a guy who doesn't show up in the biggest games. Kind of an inaccurate label for the last couple of years. Showed up so huge in the biggest game of his life that when he got into foul trouble, it almost cost him the game. That is the crowning moment of Kyle Lowry's career. I think he may now have a Hall of Fame case. He is now indisputably the greatest Toronto Raptor of all time. Pascal Siakam, 46 minutes, 26 points, 10 rebounds. One of the best stories in the league.
Benched in Game 5.
Fred VanVleet, undrafted, not only scored 22 points, carried the Raptors across the finish line because Kawhi Leonard looked absolutely gassed, and the ball essentially was not in his hands for any of the fourth quarter. And an undrafted Fred VanVleet, 5 of 11 from 3, 22 points, carried the Raptors to the finish line against a team that was wounded. And by the way, those dudes are champions. Like, to lose KD and then lose Clay. Clay had 30 points on 12 field goal attempts.
Unbelievable.
And to still be in the game right up into the end and have a Steph Curry decent three to win. It was an incredible effort by Draymond, even with 8 turnovers, and Andre Iguodala.
Sean Livingston made a couple of just tremendous plays.
Cousins did what they needed from him. 12 points off the bench for Cousins. Andre scored 22 points. When's the last time Andre had 20 points in a game?
I think that happened. He had 20 points one time all season. I think the other thing is, I will say this, a lasting memory from Oracle. And this tunnel, which is right behind us, is so kind of iconic because of Steph. You know, they had the Willis Reed Tunnel for a long time in New York. They got rid of it. They could put seats there. Clay coming out and taking those 2 free throws. He wasn't able to stay in the game, but the roar that happened here, the reaction in the building, will be a memory from this building.
And look,
forward.
I agree with both of you. Like, you don't apologize ever for winning a championship. You don't. But at the same time, like, when he went down, it just kind of took a little, like another one of these. And I saw Jordan Bell sitting at the end of the bench, looking at Kerr making the free throw shooting motion with his hands as if to say, I think they're going to pick me to shoot the free throws if Clay can't come back in the game. And all of a sudden, Clay comes walking out of the line like Willis Reed. It was a crazy moment.
Yeah. I wonder who actually ran down the tunnel somebody ran down the tunnel to tell Clay he had to come back and shoot the free throws, because otherwise, he hadn't had the examination yet. The other thing is the shot. I don't know if you got to see it on the TV feed, either of you guys, but it was an iconic shot of Steph sitting on the court 90 feet away, just defeated because they had this second injury.
I mean, you just can't, to have KD and Clay go down. I mean, KD went down twice in the playoffs, but to be without both of those guys, it really took an incredible effort. And, like, Steph is going to get killed for going 6 or 17. He's going to get killed for missing the last shot.
He was getting triple teamed at points.
And every time he runs around a screen, 3 guys are on him, and then Draymond gets a dunk, and Looney gets a dunk, or Draymond lobs to Looney, or Draymond lobs to Iguodala. Like, Steph, look at Max Kellerman and I were having a debate. Max said, I don't want to hear about the gravity and the creating of shot. Like, at some point, you got to make the shot. And I think when you're Steph Curry, that's a little bit fair. Like, do better than 6 or 17. I think it's fair of Max to say that. Well, but his impact on the game was enormous, as it always is.
The play that they drew up in the huddle in their last time out, unfortunately for them, it was their last time out, where they threw the lob and created the shot for Steph on the wing. You couldn't have dreamed of a better shot than they got to win the game.
Another guy I want to talk about is Serge Ibaka, who in the last 3 games of this series was absolutely mammoth. After your old teammate, your old teammate,
old friend of mine.
Yeah,
he wasn't Serge Ibaka. You know, when he played at that level, we call him the Wild African from Congo, because he played extremely well. He gave big minutes, and I mean, Serge, my hats off to him. I mean, he did everything that they needed him to do, and he showed that he'd been here before, and he has been to the finals before. So this wasn't new for Serge Ibaka. But I want to harp back on this Steph Curry thing just for a little bit.
Sure.
I feel like we give him a lot of passes. We give him passes after passes after passes. And I feel like it's unfair because any other superstar in the league don't get as many passes as Steph Curry. Steph Curry get pass after pass after pass for not performing. And he never steps up to the big plate. Think about this. The shots that Klay Thompson hit tonight.
Klay was absolutely unbelievable.
Right. It wasn't just easy shots.
No.
He had 2 or 3 people on him at times.
He pulled up from out here.
That's exactly. My point exactly.
I know.
And listen, I know what it is. Listen, I'm not taking nothing from Steph, man. He's going to go down as an all-time great. But his finals, the way he performed in the finals, I mean, he got to get some kind of, criticism behind it. Because, I mean, what's this, the 5th finals?
Yeah.
And, he have yet to really show up like he should.
He had an incredible, game 3, 47 points.
But you know what, B? Me and you don't disagree on a lot of things, but it was the most meaningless 47 points I ever seen in my life.
I disagree.
Because it had no impact on the game.
What was the only reason they were in the game?
They wasn't never in the game. They was always down. They cut the game close to 8, right?
6, 7, 8. Yeah,
okay, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so when the team is up 12, it's no pressure to come down and hit a 3-pointer. Steph's best game to me was actually Game 5. I would take Game 5 in Toronto over the 47 points that he had before then, because it was meaningless.
Well, what was interesting about this series for Steph is even when he was putting up points, he did it with a lot of free throws, including tonight he had 6. In other games, he hit double-figure free throws a bunch of times, at least twice in the series. His shooting percentages from the field were not, I think, where the Warriors needed them to be to win, given the depleted state of the roster. And I think it's fair to point that out, just like it's fair to point out, like if the Raptors had lost this game, I think Kawhi would have faced a lot of criticism.
Oh, absolutely.
I think if you're comparing to like what LeBron did, like if you go back to 2015, this is somewhat comparable to 2015. The Cavs lost 2 of their 3 best players. Mm-hmm. LeBron was sort of left to do it all. LeBron was putting up 40 almost a night, keeping it in the game. They got that series to 6. It's not what he did is not comparable to what LeBron did. And I think if that's what your standard is, if your standard is Steph is not LeBron, I think that's a fair thing to say. But I still think he's an all-time great player.
Oh, for sure. He's definitely top 20 in my book. But I'm saying he still have to get Bron get criticized.
That's true.
And we talking about him being as arguably the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball.
And let's be clear, a lot of the criticism LeBron got was stupid, with the exception of the 2011 finals against Dallas.
Oh, absolutely. But he still get criticized.
Oh, yeah, but a lot of it was, like, people forgot that he scored 25 straight points against the Pistons in 2007.
Right,
people forgot that he averaged 39, 9, and 9 in a playoff series.
Absolutely.
It's like everything that he did was undone because of one bad finals. He's not clutch. I think I've seen him be clutch a bunch of times.
Because, see, in my opinion, if Klay don't get hurt, Golden State wins this game tonight, right?
Very well might.
And it goes to Game 7. And if you look at Klay numbers, his shooting percentages and everything, and it comes down and say Golden State win the championship, Klay is for the Finals MVP once again.
And he was arguably even before tonight.
It's a great point.
It's
a great point. I think it's fair. Klay was awesome.
And if today, I think he was the Warriors' best player even before tonight. Granted that he missed a game. If you looked at his numbers and you looked, his ability to play defense against Kawhi.
Well, what I liked today from him, I'll be interested to check the numbers. They were running like a lot of pick and roll with Klay in the first half of the game. He was beating guys off the dribble and throwing nice passes. Andre had a bunch of drives to the basket because they were pressing. It was a gritty game by the Warriors in the sense that Klay, like Looney, had a couple drives when they were pressing him. It was guys getting a little outside their usual wheelhouse because that's what the moment required them to do, and they were all up to it. Like they all did enough to keep them right to the end where they had a shot to win the game.
And I'm gonna say this, and I said it time and time again: Klay Thompson was the best shooting guard in this whole entire playoffs. He outplayed James Harden. He was better than C.J. McCollum on both ends of the floor. In my opinion, he was the best shooting guard in this entire playoffs.
And now we just sit here, fingers crossed that injury is not serious, because of that injury. If that's a serious injury, like the whole NBA is just upside down.
So surreal.
It was
3 days ago. I sat there and I watched, KD limp out with his agent and Bob Myers and the team doctors, devastated, and then tonight. Everybody loves Perk. Yeah. And then tonight, again, Bob Myers, the team doctors, Hall of Famer on crutches, his agent walking behind him. I mean, that's crazy. As much.
Another free agent, by the way.
I know. I think he'll be okay, but
he will.
Look, as the Warriors,
about $61 million.
The Warriors
can't play.
Oh my God, they got the money. The Warriors had so much fortune happen to them to build this team. They made great decisions. They took advantage of situations, but they had a lot of fortune. This cap spike, the fact that
Steph's extension that was way under market
for sure. They had a lot of fortune. You can after basically losing a championship, maybe because of injuries. The Cavs injuries were fortunate for them. Like karma came swinging back around on them.
Yeah,
it's not karma. It's just like this is what happens in the NBA.
Yeah, karma's the wrong word.
You stick around the finals long enough, you're going to get some injury luck both ways, and that's why you can't, as you said, that's why you can't say dismiss this asterisk. It's every year there's injuries.
Right.
You just got to win.
It's a poker hand. It's how I feel. It's like playing a poker hand. They have a great hand. 3 of the years it held up. 2 of the years it didn't.
I'm also happy for Marc Gasol, just on a personal level.
Me too.
Marc has always been one of my favorite players to watch.
One of my favorite
he and I have
also
developed a relationship over the years, and when he saw me in the hallway out there, he came up and gave me a giant bear hug, and he almost knocked both my front teeth out with his shoulder.
I'm
he's
happy
a very
for him.
large man, and he was drinking a can of Budweiser immediately.
But a great guy, though. Great guy.
Oh.
And you know what? I'm happy for him because he deserved this. All the stuff that he did in Memphis, the numbers, the hard battles.
You guys battled them.
Yeah,
Woo.
I'm really happy for him, man. I'm really happy for Mark. I'm happy for Kyle Lowry.
I saw you embraced him a little bit after the game to
Yeah, I
congratulate him.
did. And I got to meet my new favorite player in the league, Kawhi Leonard. And he said, "Hey, Perk, man, I appreciate everything you say about me. And your jersey." He got me a signed jersey coming in the mail.
What were you and Kyle talking about? I didn't know you and Kyle had some sort of relationship.
No, we're real cool.
Yeah.
We're cool through Kyle. So Kyle is a little brother. Ty Lue is a mentor to Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I met Kyle through T. Lue. So me and Kyle been close for a long time. And I just, I always been a fan of Kyle just for the simple fact that he get criticized so much, right? But on the nights he don't score 20 points because he's an all-star. But people don't understand the little things that he do. Like, he gets Toronto 6 to 8 possessions a game just off of taking charges, getting steals, hustle plays. And I know those things that's supposed to be quote-unquote role players supposed to do. But no, it kind of reminds me of a smaller version of a Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett, for us with the Celtics, he didn't always come out and have 20 points.
Rarely scored 20.
But he always came out and impacted the game in different areas that saved us a game where we could give him the MVP trophy.
I was trying to wave Mark over here, but he didn't see me.
Waving over is hard right now.
Moment.
Impromptu mini podcast with NBA champion Marc Gasol. How you doing, buddy?
That sounds amazing, huh?
It's pretty good.
Sounds amazing. NBA champion.
So was Pau here?
Nah.
I saw Pau in Toronto.
Yeah, he came up.
Is he happy for you?
He has a wedding, David Lee's wedding this weekend.
David Lee's wedding?
Yeah, in Italy.
I've heard he's marrying to Carolina Wozniak.
Correct. Correct. That is correct. So that's a big thing.
That's a good wedding.
Not as big as an NBA championship, but it's a pretty big thing.
So, how did you find out you were being traded to the Raptors?
That day, like as soon as it happened, like
your agent calls you. How's the word come?
Steven, kind of let me know that this was a possibility. There was other possibilities along the way. And Rob Perry is the first one that called and said, like, Mark, I accepted the trade, and he gave me a chance, to play on this team, and I'll forever be thankful for that because he had other options that he could have taken. I thought that Toronto gave up a lot to have me, but Robert made it possible.
You get there. Serge is the starting center.
Yeah.
You've played with Serge before on the Spanish national team. You go through this weird period where sometimes he starts, sometimes you start. On a lot of teams, that could have been a problem. For you guys, it was no problem. I think part of the reason is you literally didn't care. You're like, bench, start, whatever. Right? I mean, and he obviously accepted it in the end.
Yeah, it's just the way it played out, the way it was played out, and at the end of the day, we all knew what we were here to do. It was not about, who started the five. It was, it's about us winning a championship or at least making a great run at it. And I think we both understood that. And at times we played together and we played great, in the same unit when we did. It's a team effort. And throughout the playoffs, you saw different guys step up and be crucial. And that's
Fred VanVleet, 22 points.
I don't know how he's walking.
Line.
I don't want to say anything that will get you in trouble in the podcast. But he has some huge,
huge
watermelons.
Yeah.
The size of a watermelon.
Yeah,
and he's just he's tough son of a gun.
You hit him for that corner three when you almost traveled. You had a wide open.
Oh man,
you had a dunk. Just
I'm a
big
dummy. Big dummy. They did a great job of being in and building out as soon as they caught it because they know I'm a willing passer, and I told the guys like next one I'm rolling all the way in after that play after Freddie, but I wasn't in that much.
Can you go back to Memphis and celebrate somehow? I feel like the city of Memphis
the city's
was cheering
right here
for you.
Oh, no question. The city, the whole state, the tri-state area, Arkansas, Mississippi, everyone that has been around the Grizzlies, I think is here. They here
Did you
with
hear
me.
from Mike yet?
I haven't checked my phone. Like I honestly have my phone, like all my notifications off. Like I don't get text, I don't get WhatsApps, I only get calls. So if you want to hear from me, you got to give me a call.
So this worked out very well. Congratulations.
Oh man.
Maybe we'll see you in Toronto next year. Who knows? You got a decision to make on that.
I'm the next couple of weeks is going to be, about celebrating and enjoying and icing everything. Right now, I'm exhausted.
I bet you. I mean, look, 7 against Philly, 6 against the Bucks. It's a long playoff run, man.
It's draining. I never imagined being that draining physically and mentally. It's draining.
When are you going back to Spain?
I don't know.
Go get some tapas, drink some wine, relax.
I'm definitely gonna enjoy the sailing and be in a boat for a couple days.
Well, as a longtime fan of yours, it's awesome to see you win. Congratulations on an NBA title, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you, buddy.
Well, I guess we're going to say goodbye to Oracle.
That's it for Oracle. It is a little weird, honestly. We've all spent so much time here, so much time in Oakland, and now we're not going to be here anymore. It's very strange.
Yeah. Well, new Chase Arena ready, so we'll see how it go.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Are the Raptors and Warriors going to meet again next season in the finals?
The question is Toronto, is Kawhi Leonard going to stay?
Is Kawhi Leonard going to stay? How bad is Klay Thompson injured?
Yeah, I would say that is unlikely. The odds would certainly say that's unlikely given Kawhi's free agency, KD's injury, Clay's free agency. It seems like while they very well could, it's a little up in the air.
Anthony Davis to the Lakers.
That didn't happen just now, did it?
No, but it's gonna happen. Come on now, we know
they should ban. No one should be allowed to make trades during a finals game. During a finals game or post game.
Well, we know it's gonna happen.
I guess we'll see.
We'll be definitely be talking about that in the coming days. All right, thank you, Perk.
All
It's been wonderful to have you on these pods. We look forward to talking to you more. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for listening to the Low Post Hoop Collective crossover, and we will have more great stuff coming to you. The season is over, and the season is just beginning.
Oh, God. It's happening. It's here.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
All right, thanks.